So we had the great revealing of the Beatrice.
We're getting straight into it.
No talking about it?
You refuse to do your homework, so here we go.
Oh my goodness.
I will try and remember and then talk about
What?
it when it comes up.
You haven't even done the homework. Where is your excuses?
Well, I've already read it, so I have a rough idea. It's been a long time, but I'll try and scrounge the depths of my memories.
How long did it take you to read them?
A long time.
Oh really? When you did it?
Yeah. So there's a channel that was uploading them on YouTube back when I was in high school.
But I thought you had the actual game.
Yeah, I did eventually. It was once... I don't know if it was after... I think it was. Once I'd finished episode 7 through YouTube, that's when I bought the game.
Okay.
Went through the question arcs, and then when episode 8 was released, I bought that answer arcs and read those as well.
Yep.
And here I am.
Making me read them.
Let's get into it.
That is...
Let me get the mouse on the screen.
the end of my tale.
Oh, is that all? But aren't the next 2 years pretty fun?
That's true, we haven't covered those years. Will, what are you doing? I want to know.
He's the detective. We don't need him. We don't need them. After all we've heard in the past games about your inner conflict and how you suffered, you don't need to say any more.
But I wanted to know how they did it. You mean the conflict of the furniture with incomplete souls?
You understand that, though, right? The whole we are furniture. I think we talked about it already, but...
As in, are we referencing, like, I know the furniture is the servants, but is this Genji, Kumasawa, Nanjo included in that furniture references? Or is the furniture only related to Beatrice's furniture creations?
The Shannon Canon we are furniture kind of talk was a bit different to the type of furniture talk that Genji would talk about. Genji's is like, yeah, we're just servants. Canon and Shannon's was a bit different. Remember?
Because they're essentially not existing.
They're essentially just personas.
Yeah.
And you can't just have like 3 different personas in
existing
one
at once.
when
Yeah.
you want to be in like a relationship.
Mm.
Because that'd be like Canon would end up with George as well, and it'd just be weird with him. He'd be like, but I don't like George, I like Milady.
Okay, so conflicting, yeah. Okay, conflicting interests.
Same with Beatrice. Because Beatrice has Battler's... she still has the affection for Battler. So that's why in episode 6 she was included in the duel, right?
Yeah. So it was really a duel between the 3 personalities.
Yes.
Tricky. Next. There was a duel. The result had almost been decided. However, the year 1986 was incredibly merciless.
I'll bet you cursed your fate.
Yes, if it had been 1 year sooner, or else 1 year later.
It was like in the middle of deciding
who to go for.
Yeah, Battler comes in. The duel would have been settled, though the way it got settled would have been different. Silently, Claire hung her head.
If only I had been given time, or else if I hadn't been given time to worry. I hate everything. Why did it have to be 1986? I decided to abandon control over everything. Abandon control? Like the ceremony in which I inherited everything from the previous head, I decided to abandon myself to the fate known as a miracle. Oh, that's Burn Castle. You shouldn't do that. She's devious now.
I really want to learn this song. It's way too hard there.
It may be more accurate to say that I abandoned myself to the choice of the roulette. We could not even decide our own fate. So we let fate decide everything for us. Perhaps one of us will find what they seek. Or perhaps all will be joined and released. Or perhaps someone will put a stop to this folly. No matter which fate the roulette chose, I plan to obey its ruling. I will not resist fate, after all. Whenever I have tried in the past, fate has already been heartless to me.
Claire hung her head and let a single tear drop down. Humans will carelessly say that people possess infinite possibilities. However, the Endless Witch knows how limited those possibilities really are. So, out of her limited fate, she tried to create the infinite. By entrusting her fate to God, she tried to create the infinite. However, this did not mean that she was resigned to her fate. She spun the roulette of fate with an unshakable and certain will. A certain fate where absolutely no one could escape if the epitaph was not solved. She sealed off the island with it, herself included. October 4th and 5th, 1986, were sealed away by an absolute and certain will, and she abandoned herself to that short span of time, and the one fate out of many that would be chosen on that island.
And now my confession is over. Isn't that enough to place my motive for the crime? If you still do not know, I will say no more. It's not as though anyone could understand my heart anyway.
Yeah, there's no need to say any more.
So she just got angry at fate and killed everyone? Leon, after watching how I've wandered through a dead end of fate, do you see how great a hope you are to me? I'm a different possible you. The happiness you live in makes me jealous, but even more overwhelmed with happiness. The future you represent was a possible one. Right now, that fact alone is my salvation. Please, live with enough happiness for the both of us. I'm glad I got to meet you once. At the end, you have my thanks, Lady Berncastle.
I'm just carrying out your funeral. There's no need to thank me. Well, it's about time to end this. It's about time to send the dead to the land of the dead.
Yes, this is my funeral after all. It's time for me to go back to where I belong. Don't make that face, and please rejoice that you were not me. After all, I rejoice in that fact as well. I'll live life for the both of us. Thank you. Live in happiness, and someday find yourself a wonderful person. I pray that you live as a human without awakening as a witch, and that you have a whole and single soul and love one person with all your strength. I hope you live with that sort of life. I will. Will, son, I thank you for being an observer. You aren't the one I truly wanted to understand me, but you have saved my heart.
I understand you. I don't neglect the heart.
Thank you. So, now that I have a splendid observer who understands me, I want to entrust my final moments to you.
Are you sure you're okay with it being me?
He's so cranky.
No, it's because he's asking, like, you sure you don't want Butler?
Yes. For me, the important thing is whether the person understands me, not how well I know them. The one I wanted to understand didn't. A person I don't know did understand. There's nothing sad about it. On the contrary, I'm grateful for this miracle. A person was able to understand, even though he has no relation to me. You are a good observer, and the only one who has managed to understand me. That connection is strong enough.
Understood.
I offered my heart to you, nameless and wonderful observer. Oh, you should give me this one.
Well, you want to sing it as well?
I'm just hearing the organ, I can't hear the singing.
Leon, stand back.
Huh? What's going to happen?
In the mystery genre, there can be no death unless the detective performs the last rites.
What? The last rites? You going to do a dance?
Will just stopping your heart be enough?
When you mourn the dearly departed, do you just put their heart into a coffin?
Got it. That which was born from Earth will return to Earth. I'll return all of you to the Earth.
Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, illusions to illusions, and dreams to dreams.
Right.
Then let us begin. This is my burial.
Whenever you're ready.
Let us start. This is almost like the end of my last game.
Light gathered at Will's back, and a sword materialized there. Slowly, he drew it out. Its pitch-black tip, which could neatly slice apart truth from fiction, swung once, leaving a black trail, and then again leaving a white trail.
I'll cut the truth out from the fiction. Come.
Following Will's lead, a similar sword appeared in Claire's hand. Its tip glinted silver, the opposite of Will's.
Wait, what is this?
I told you, we're going over the games.
Oh. First game, first twilight. 6 corpses in the gardening shed. It's different because we didn't have this,
You wouldn't have had this
these
kind of
illustrations,
thing, in the original.
Illusions to illusions. The corpse that cannot return to Earth returns to illusions.
So this is the style of answers we're getting here. So, does that make any sense to you? Do you remember the first crime ever committed in this?
Was it a hanging?
No, it was... They went to the gardening shed because it had the big circle written on it.
Yeah.
And, like, it was... who was it? It was both Battler's parents. Shannon... So that's 2, there were 3... And then... I can't remember who else, dang it. But yeah, essentially 6 corpses in the gardening shed.
So the heads were
Yeah, their heads
smashed?
were smashed in. Some of them were half smashed in.
Yeah.
And Hideyoshi, like, George asked, like, they saw 5.
Mm.
And then they're like, is there any more? And then Hideyoshi's in there and he's like, yeah, there's one more. And it's Shannon, who had her face half smashed. Right?
Mm.
And Cannon was alive. He was with them, like, this horrible kind of thing.
Mm.
And then George was asking about the ring.
Mm.
Whether she was wearing the ring. And said she was. Can you figure out how that'd work?
So she was a fake one?
Fake corpse, maybe?
Yeah.
So, illusions to illusions would mean, like...
Or she was there pretending to be dead. That'd be really hard, though.
It'd be more likely that it was a fake.
Yeah.
Because illusions to illusions. The corpse that cannot return to Earth returns to illusions.
Mm-hmm.
Will's pitch-black slash cut across Claire's body at an angle. The blade passed through her like she was water, but its tip sent golden flower petals scattering.
I was not sure what I was looking at for a second.
Damn, Hideyoshi.
Do you have to blur out that bit?
Nah, that'll be fine.
You sure? He's a unicorn.
He's pretty.
First game, second twilight. 2 corpses are close in a closed room protected by a chain.
So this was after that Ava and Hideyoshi left to go to their room on their
Yeah.
own.
And Ava was killed on the bed and Hideyoshi in the bathtub?
Yeah, but the chain was intact.
Yep.
And they had to cut it to get in. It was Kanon and Genji who cut the chain and came in.
Illusions to illusions. A chain of illusions can only trap illusions.
So the chain wasn't real.
There was no chain.
What?
Because they're both conspirators. They can make up the story that, oh, we cut the chain and then entered. So they were lying, essentially.
The razor-thin black blur sent golden flower petals scattering again.
First game, fourth twilight. The old head from the closed room study, confined in a scorching furnace.
Illusions to illusions. Let the man of illusions go to where he belongs.
The Kinzo is pretty straightforward.
It was just his corpse that was put in there?
Yeah.
First game, fifth twilight. The last moments of the sacrificed boy with a stake in his chest.
So this is when Kumasara and Kanon went in to the boiler room. He supposedly died there.
Illusions to illusions. The witch and stake of illusions can pierce naught but illusions.
First game, sixth, seventh, and eighth twilights. 3 corpses lying in the closed room of the singing girl.
Illusions to illusions. Illusions of the blind girl's song. Illusions of a closed room.
I can't remember the closed room there.
There was like the telephone
There was,
thing.
yeah, it was the telephone thing, and it was the rest of the servants who were dead.
But they weren't actually dead?
It's either that. I can't remember that scene, to be honest, too well.
Well done. Yes, you really are splendid.
That was a risky game from the very start. What if the guy really wanted to see that dead face anyway and just stepped inside?
That's what it means to abandon oneself to fate.
So I think that's saying, like, what if George just wanted to make sure it was Shannon? He would recognize because he knows her so well.
Mm.
That's what your roulette is, isn't it?
Let us continue. Second game, first twilight. The 6 with their stomachs split in the closed room chapel.
You remember that one?
Yeah, that's the Halloween bit where Maria's like, for me!
Yep.
Illusions to illusions. The gold truth locks the lock of illusions.
I think that means Rosa was lying about the door being locked.
Why would Rosa lie about the door being locked?
She could have been in on it, maybe.
I
Who
don't
knows?
understand why she would have been in on it. Are they all just killing each
Remember
other?
remember episode 2? She and Maria were the last 2 alive, and they were running off the island from the goats. She
Okay.
had 1 ingot and then a gun
Okay.
or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Second game, second twilight. The 2 who are close cannot even be close as corpses.
Illusions to illusions. Illusions who have fulfilled their role do not leave even a corpse behind.
So I think that's like Jessica and Cannon died together because Cannon's not. Yeah.
Real. Second game, 4th, 5th, and 6th twilights in Natsuki's closed room. None are left alive. I don't remember this.
I don't remember that one either. Second one.
Earth to earth. No one would dispute that a coffin is a closed room.
Second game, 7th and 8th twilights. The two sliced to death by the red-eyed illusion.
That's when Cannon supposedly came back to life, and then he went crazy and killed a couple of servants before Genji took him out.
Okay.
Earth to earth, illusions to illusions. No illusion can create a corpse. Every time the blade passed through Claire's body, golden flower petals flew everywhere. The petals covering her heart were being torn away, bit by bit. The illusion of the witch was breaking down and becoming flower petals.
Third game, first twilight. 6 corpses connected by the linked closed rooms.
I love this one. It's not that hard, but it's just cool.
Illusions to illusions. In a closed room ring, the end and the beginning overlap.
Does that make sense?
You got a beginning and an end.
So, it was... I wish I could show the picture again. It was that ring of closed rooms.
You can go back a bit and it should pop up.
No, it doesn't see.
Oh.
So it was they went to the first place that I think a letter told them to go to, or something. And they broke in through the window and saw Shannon was dead there.
Mm-hmm.
She had the room key.
Is this the one they climbed up to from the outside?
No. That was episode 5.
Okay.
So Shannon had the key to a certain room. They went to that room, unlocked the door, and there was a corpse in there who had the key to another room, and they just kept following a chain.
Mm-hmm.
So the person who died had the key to the room of the next victim. But Shannon was the first victim and Cannon was the last victim. So by the time they came back to Shannon's room, she was gone.
Yeah.
So it was while they were going through the other rooms, she had time to go change, become Cannon.
Yeah. Third game, second twilight. The corpses of mother and child lay together in the rose garden.
Earth to earth, no falsehoods in their final moments is told.
That was the one with Ava Beatrice, so that was when Ava played around with them and crushed them with jelly and stuff. And cake, I mean.
Third game, fourth, fifth, and sixth twilights. 3 corpses lying in the mansion.
Earth to earth, no falsehoods in their final moments is told.
Third game, 7th and 8th twilights. The corpses of husband and wife lay exposed onto the arbor.
Earth to earth, the obvious culprit wields a mutable blade.
A mutable blade? Fourth game, first twilight. A massacring storm sweeps through the dining hall.
Illusions to illusions, tales woven by the gold truth return to illusions.
So that whole thing didn't happen. The siestas came in, killed a bunch of people, and then everyone fell.
Yeah. Fourth game, second twilight. The 2 youths face a trial and pass away together.
Illusions to illusions, tales woven by the gold truth return to illusions.
Is that the fight with Garp and
Yeah.
who was the other person? Runaway?
Yeah, Runaway.
Fourth game, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th twilights. None of the runaways are left alive.
Earth to earth, illusions to illusions. Silent corpses adorned by fiction.
Fourth game, 9th twilight. And none shall be left alive.
Earth to earth, illusions to illusions. When fiction is shut up inside a cat box, it becomes truth.
Does that mean that some of the servants are technically, potentially still alive?
Everyone's dead.
Everyone is actually dead.
None of they Angie visited their relatives, remember? They all had that money card.
Yeah.
So I think it was I don't know, a way to compensate them for their losses, I guess. from Shannon, or Beatrice, or Yasu. Over and over again, Claire's body was sliced by the pitch-black sword. Birdie.
So loud.
As proof, the chapel was now filled with golden flower petals, which danced around like gold snow.
It's beautiful.
Who wouldn't want their last memories or moments to be like that? The gold snow was like confetti at the finale of a show. The curtains were finally falling on the stage that was her.
Then one final question.
Sure. Claire slowly raised her hands. The sword she held became golden rose petals and melted away. She stood there, arms wide, waiting for the final strike.
Who am I?
Illusions. 2 illusions. The promised reaper lowers the curtains on the tale regardless of the witch's will. The pitch-black blade that Will swung high cut down Claire's form.
Do we see anything, or is it just burst into gold butterflies?
Well, remember episode 4? That was Beatrice's last question for Butler.
Yeah.
And it was just like her heart. At the same time, she was blown away by a gust of wind. Her human form crumbled in an instant, became a storm of golden flower petals, and was torn apart. After she was blown away, her golden heart remained in midair. But it too was swallowed by the torrent of wind and broke down into flower petals. The gold torrent of wind swirled around the chapel. Then the swirl of petals scattered out of existence and vanished.
And that's her death? Or the death of the witch only?
A few remaining petals danced around like snowflakes, and those final vestiges, vestiges?
Vestiges, you're right.
Decorated the chapel beautifully. Beatrice is already dead, technically. This is like the story of Beatrice, giving us the answers of how it was really done. That wasn't magic, that kind of thing. A beam of light lit the center of the stage. There stood Claire, whose tale had ended. Then, slowly, softly, she faced the audience and bowed. Applause spread throughout the room. The long, long tale she had just finished telling was being given a massive applause. It went on and on, and on and on. The stage slowly sunk into the darkness of oblivion. Behind the darkness and the curtain, Claire continued to bow in front of the unending applause and disappeared. People are born with sin and live life to obtain forgiveness from someone, or perhaps they are born with riddles and live life searching for someone to solve them. Here, all of her riddles had been solved, leaving no lingering regrets behind. People are riddles. They want someone else to solve their riddle. They live life wanting someone to solve the riddle that they are, the most difficult riddle in the world. They want someone to look at the riddle they are, and they want that person to solve it. For her, that wish has been granted. Her soul will wander no longer. Sleep in endless peace in your cat box coffin. Her skeleton will remain in the chamber forever. Though there had been so many golden flower petals flitting about like a blizzard, not a single one remained. Everything had become dust.
vanishing as though there had been nothing there in the first place, and all was silent once more. Come to think of it, even the sound of rain has gone. The rain must have stopped at some point. Meeting you was her salvation.
I hope so.
She cursed herself and her inescapable dead-end fate, and gave up. Meeting you, a happy miracle in her eyes, saved her in a way nothing else could. So don't make that face. That was a pretty tasteful ending, for you. Oh, well, only told me to carry out the funeral. Well, I pretty much just called a facilitator, you, and let you do everything.
Thank you, Will. In Claire's place, I want to thank you. Thanks for cutting off all the lingering regrets of me of a different fate.
I thought I'd see a bit more head clutching and panic from you.
I understand now. I realize how happy my life has been. If fate had toyed with me, and if I was living in another world, I might have gotten stuck in the same dead end of fate. However, thanks to an extremely probable bit of good luck, I live in this world. I now know how much that means.
How much it's worth.
But how much it's worth.
What's up? Why the surprised look? I thought decent witches didn't exist, but I might have to change that theory. Don't worry, no need to change it. I only joined that kid's game to kill some time. And, though I lost, I enjoyed playing. That kid died without folding up her game board. I just took charge of cleaning up as thanks to her for letting me play, and because it's the loser's duty. I was sure you'd be a lot crueler than this. Crueler? I thought this would be a cruel game that neglects the heart. Yes, it was a cruel game. Though she claimed that the game was fantasy, I've brought you along and made it end as a mystery. The illusion of the witch has been spectacularly crushed, and my little bit of revenge is complete. And this tale of intertwined loves ends thanks to an absolute and certain willpower. Out of respect for that certain willpower, the Witch of Certainty made that kid a witch for just 2 days. Even within this limited span of 2 days, I have been able to enjoy an endless kaleidoscope. I won't be bestowing my favor, so no miracle will occur. However, even this ending is something that child wished for.
I wonder which truth actually lay at the end of this endless tale.
Who knows? Not being able to say that for sure is what makes it a cat box. When you open the box, you get a tale where no trace of the mansion remains, and no one except Ava survives. Now that Ava has died without saying anything, all the truth is inside the cat box. Endless possibilities, all kept within a limited box.
Now that I think about it, maybe the whole island where she lived and died was the Golden Land.
If you can call a cat box a golden land, that is. By the way, Badler has written up the most fun tale imaginable of the inside of the box. You mean that book in Beatrice's coffin? And that's right. It's the happiest possible tale for her, which he thought up himself.
It really was fun, love-filled, a happy tale. I also think the tale was the most fitting one to put in her coffin.
No, that's wrong.
Huh?
You heard Claire. You are her hope and her salvation. More than anything else, you living on in happiness will be her salvation.
Right.
And live happily, and that's all you need to do to be that kid's miracle.
Yes. I'll live happily enough for the both of us.
I'm surprised you found this kid. Didn't you have to search through about 200,000 of them in that vast sea? Such trivialities are all I am capable of. And now the funeral is over. As promised, I've released the barrier. Once you leave, time will start moving again like normal. So, you're done with us now? If I don't get back quickly, Diana will start scratching the curtains.
We weren't together long, but thank you for your help.
So long. Be happy for the sake of the hundreds of thousands of other yous.
When he left the chapel, a beautiful after-rain sky stretched out above him. That sky, which was a mix of rain clouds, gaps of sunlight, and the tint of twilight, had a beauty to it that couldn't be described in words. Will slowly descended the stone stairs, stepping through puddles. Then he waved without looking back, and left the chapel behind. His form and footprints gradually faded away until there was no trace left.
Okay, time for me to disappear too. Goodbye, Leon.
I have you to thank as well. I believe I said some fairly inconsiderate things to you. You have my apologies. You told me something very important. What is it?
No, it's nothing. It's been a century since anyone's thanked me, so I wasn't sure how to respond.
Castell shrugged, then floated up into the air. Then she looked up at the beautiful seven colours of light shining in through the stained glass, and spoke as though someone was looking down at her from there.
Oh, Aurora, was that enough of an answer check for you? If you still don't get it, why not gather the other observer witches and have a tea party or something? Then you can listen to their theories. I'm mean, so I won't go any further than this. There are no witches who don't think. After all, witches who don't think either die or turn to seaweed. Yes, now you can look back and have a drink, while seeing how much of your theory was right. I'm tired of playing the part of the bad guy, and of being a Miko. You're done with me now. Bye, Leon, and bye to you too, observer witches.
Castell burst and disappeared. A single golden flower petal glittered. Leon picked it up. It was the only trace of a miracle that remained in this chapel. At that time, cheery voices could suddenly be heard. It was the relatives. They came out of the waiting room one by one.
So, this is where you were, Leon. I was looking for you. Mom, my apologies. I was just thinking about something.
Looks like the rain's finally stopped. Finally, some good weather.
Everyone, let us return to the mansion. I have been told that Beatrice's funeral is over.
Dad, where's the head?
He'll be here in a sec.
Wait, Dad?
No, he just came in to answer.
Today was pretty crazy, and playing along with Dad's little funeral show was a real pain.
You shouldn't say that. It was a very important ceremony.
That's right. I think it was very important for Father.
I'm starving. Koro-san, think you could cook something up for us?
Yes, ma'am. I'll prepare some tea at once.
Where is Leon? Lend me a hand.
Our family head, there you are.
As Kinzo came out after the others, Leon ran up to him.
You did very well today. Beatrice's funeral is now complete.
Yes. And I'm sure that Beatrice's soul was saved. So that's really their dad.
Yeah.
How could you know that?
I was with Beatrice until a second ago. And I saw her leave on her journey with no regrets. That's how I know. I guarantee it.
I see. If you say it, then it must be so.
The relatives left the chapel one by one. Leon left too, giving Kinzo a shoulder to lean on. A beam of sunlight peeked through the clouds, looking like a staircase leading up to heaven.
And we're done.
Golden sea, golden roads, Na winged eagle.
So how's that?
Now I just want to know about Anji.
Well, we know about the crimes and stuff now, so that's, I guess, the only thing left.
Is what happens to Anji?
Suppose so.
The follow up.
The
'Cause she's the like only remaining. Because
Ava's dead.
passed, yeah. So it's like, where does it? Oh, we really are at the tea party time then. Okay.
What do you think of, like, what we got from the answers?
It's so cryptic.
Yeah.
But because I can't remember, like, back so long ago, it's sort of, I don't know.
So, yeah, it's not like... It gives you the answers in a way you should understand. But, like, yeah.
I don't know if it has that
Some people...
full, like, satisfaction.
Yeah. Well, if anything, it's probably more satisfactory for people who do know it, because they're like... It sounds weird. It's kind of like a dog whistle or something. It's like... Someone might not understand it, but they would understand it. Because they understand the story better. You know? It's like, it's not a dog whistle, it's a thing, I've seen it in a video. It's like, they know something about it that other people don't.
Like Easter eggs?
Yeah, a little bit. Did you understand any of it, really, though?
Yeah, like, no, some of it did. It's just like, because you get presented with all that there's like so much information you get presented with, and then it's like allusions to allusions, so basically everything that you got told is a lie, and it doesn't count, so it's just like, well, bah! It wasn't actually a locked room, there was no actual chain on the door.
I think that's what that one was, otherwise it was that, I don't know, maybe the chain wasn't set or something.
Yeah, it was just like, well, fine then. Like, how do you prove that it's a lie?
Yeah.
In the moment.
So, yeah, so what we got for the question arcs as answers here, that's pretty much it. So, if we're reading the novel, the visual novel specifically, which is all I've read, if you delve into the manga...
There's a manga?
There's a manga.
What?
It'll go into
How many things is there?
It gives you more direct answers, I believe.
And it will show you visuals too. The manga would have like more visuals too, which would help with understanding.
So technically, since I have not read the manga, or there's like I don't know if you call it like a confessional written by Rikishi, which is basically it was almost like a confession by Yasu of how they did things, I think.
Like in a diary?
Yeah, it's just like, just text. I've read neither of those.
Where they're like, I gouged the eye of Ava and I crushed
like that.
What is it? Use the stick of blah blah blah.
So I don't...
Where did they get the sticks from, I wonder?
It's from Kinzo's room, I'm pretty sure. He bought them and he thought they were like steaks, like rare steaks, but they were just paperweights, remember?
Oh. That's like right at the beginning.
No, that was like Erica found that out.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah. What I was getting at was I've been trying to not, like, reveal the fact that, in a sense, I technically don't know the answers.
That's why you've been leading me down the wrong path.
It's like, I basically know for the most part, but because I've never, like, technically read the specific, like, this is it.
Yeah.
could say it's almost still theory crafting.
Still up to interpretation.
And it was like, it's one thing I had decided on with this story. It was like, I was gonna read the manga and like that thing,
Mm-hmm.
but then I was like, cause just I guess the way the story is, like it always had me like coming back and thinking about it, just like, wait, what if I'm actually wrong, kind of thing. And I kind of liked that kind of aspect to it, that it was always like kept in my mind, because like I had that thought like, well, maybe I could be wrong, even though for a lot of them at least there's a good chance that's exactly how it was. So yeah, I probably did have some things wrong technically, and then people who were watching are like, oh my gosh, I thought he's read this, it's trash. Yeah, that's just something I wanted to say for a while.
And so now we have a tea party. So what's going to be the purpose of the tea party if they like answered everything with Will and Claire?
Well, tea parties are usually there to set up for the next episode, I guess.
Which is 8. 8's the final?
8's the final. There's another game, which is like a bonus game. Explores a different character that we've heard of but have never seen, I believe. I think I got spoiled on that. I haven't. I think so.
Okay.
I haven't played the game, but I think I read someone saying it was about her.
Yeah.
Which is... Why do I shouldn't bother reading it now, because I've already been spoiled.
Oh dear.
It's like Code Geass. I don't need to watch it. I've seen the end.
I've heard Code Geass is good.
Yeah, it probably is. I say that every time.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any closing thoughts on this?
No, I think I
Episode
need to sort my thoughts. I need to get some fresh air.
What do you well, what are your thoughts on Anji then?
I hope that she's alive. I really do. It would suck for like the whole family to go through all of this stuff and drama only for it to go to some other big head of family.
Well, what about Yasu's motive?
It really just sounds like Yasu went crazy. I'm not gonna lie. It just sounds like they just were like, everything sucks. Fate sucks. I want to be with George, but I also want to be with Battler. I can't choose, so I'm just gonna kill everybody.
I want to be with Jessica as well.
Oh.
Yeah. I was thinking on it now.
What I do wonder is, so it seems that there are the whole like I am one but I am many. So there are multiple personalities within Beatrice.
Yeah.
Technically, does that mean that it wasn't all just Beatrice? Like some of it was, so it's sort of like three killers with like different motives each.
It was
because you got like Cannon could be angry about something. Shannon, no, we're not including Shannon. No, yeah, Shannon counts. You've got like the main ones is Cannon, Shannon, Beatrice.
It gets tricky when it comes to that. That's still one thing that I like. That confuses me a bit.
Could someone have killed? Could Beatrice have killed George in order to get back at Shannon? And could Shannon have like?
I don't think that's the case. I think it was. Beatrice was the one doing the murders. The murders of Shannon and Cannon and stuff were
illusions.
There were games where they were still technically red truths, and it was like Cannon did die here, and then came back. It's like,
is it like they just eliminated that personality? I guess.
Yeah, sort of.
I guess if they were able to create them, I guess it makes, theory-wise, it works out that they should be able to destroy them.
Yeah, there was some red truths and like wordplay that was a bit iffy to me. I think there's one case where like it was Shannon or Cannon who had died. And they're like, well, what if it wasn't actually them? And then they had a different personality or something. And they're like, no, there was a physical body and this person was dead. And I was just like, I don't understand.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm making that up, but like, I feel like that was a thing at some point. It's been too long.
Yeah.
I was surprised I didn't remember a few of those crime scenes.
Just because it's been so long.
Well, I thought I remembered them for the most part, which I guess I did, but there was still some. What was that one?
Is there a tea party in that final game?
Yes.
Could we have a tea party?
I've never had tea before.
You had I had a high tea.
Huh?
I had a high tea for my birthday one year, and you were there.
Yeah, but I didn't have any.
You had like a red strawberry, raspberry, some fruity berry tea.
I don't remember.
I remember.
The only tea I remember drinking is Chinese herbal tea. Oh, and I had a milk tea with like the ball things in it. I was like,
The
this is
boba.
not as nice as I
Do you know what
imagined it would taste like.
This is maybe a hot take, but I actually personally don't like milk tea.
Well, apparently I don't either. I thought I would, and then when I tried it, I was like,
It's
this is
actually
not
not
what
nice.
I thought it'd be.
No.
Yeah. I thought it'd be like a nice, like, subtle sweetness.
A lot of people love it, but I
Yeah.
don't. I like there's a place in the city that does. It's like the milk tea without the tea part of it. So it's like milk with
Might as well just drink milk at that point.
No, it's like milk with caramelized like brown sugary stuff. It's quite nice. I'm sorry.
Just talking about tea at the end of our big answer sheet.
It's in the lead up to the tea party. It makes perfect sense.
So what are you expecting to see then?
I'm expecting to see Burncastle.
Why Burn? She just left.
It's the tea party. They always show up. Burn.
Fair enough.
What's her name? I forgot her name.
Lambda?
Yep, Lambda Delta. Will Beatrice be there?
Beatrice dead.
she's-
Claire's done.
But does that mean there's no Beatrice ever again? Like, Beatrice is officially gone.
She's dead.
Not.
When you're dead, you're gone.
But she's been in other Game Boy. Like, other tea parties. That's the thing.
That depends what the tea party's about. We'll see.
We're gonna see, what is it? Aurora, Featherine, whatever. Augustus.
Yep, those are all parts of her name, yes.
I don't remember. Ow.
Ow.
Aurora. I actually forgot that that's why we had this whole thing, was because Burn was the original Miko. And I completely forgot all about that.
What, Auntie replaced her.
Yeah, I forgot that we were doing this answer arc because of Featherine.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, exactly. Until she mentioned it at the end, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." I'm really hoping to see Angie and
Amakusa?
no, Amakusa.
I like
dead
Amakusa.
To us. Amakusa's dead. Death to Amakusa. Betrayal. Snitches get stitches. He shouldn't.
Was he a snitch though? He was
He
more of
was,
just
he
a
was-
double agent.
Oh. Couldn't he have just like had a soft spot for her and pretended that she was dead
He did have a soft spot
and
for her.
save her instead of going to like kill her? The betrayal. She's had so much like betrayal and death in her family. She doesn't need that. She just needs closure. Do you know what Angie's a little bit like, but not Ben. A little bit like Beatrice in a way.
In what way?
It's just kind of just like, I don't want to deal with this. Everyone else can do this, but what I want is to like. So Beatrice is like, I want to wait for Battler and get together with him, and that's my completion. Whereas I feel like Angie's is more like, I just need to know what happened so I can have
Yeah,
closure.
she wants to know the truth.
Yeah.
How would she ever learn the truth, though?
She's not, like, super concerned with the money, it seems.
Well, she's got money because she's the last Ishirumi member.
Yeah, but everybody's trying to take that money from her.
Yeah, they're trying to take the money. What's his name? Okonogi wants to, like, handle all of the money. Like, just have control of it.
But it's Okonogi who's, like... I forgot. Was it Okonogi who, like, is getting Amakusa to, like, kill her? Or was Amakusa also
Sumideras
working
wanted
with...
to kill her, and then he was like, hey, we could take advantage of this situation. And, like, they can all die in, like, their own shootout thing.
And then I'll just take
we'll be
everything.
the ones to profit, yeah.
That's awful.
Because, like, if... It'd be hard to, like... be the one to, like, order the hit on her and then have that leading back to you. And if someone found out, it'd be just...
I also want to know, how did Ava end up surviving? Did she kill Beatrice?
Have to find out. Andy thought that Ava was the culprit.
Yeah, true.
And, like, the first 4 games are, like, all over the place. Ava dies in some of them, she doesn't die in...
Yeah.
I think she doesn't die in one of them, but she dies in the rest.
Is it pretty much you have to smush all of the games all together to get the full, concise truth? Because I was wondering that as they went through and he was like, illusion to illusion, or like something to the grave, and I'm like, is it that you go through and you pair up which ones, and then the ones that are like the actual deaths?
I don't think so, no.
No?
No. But, yeah, I guess that's just what we gotta find out in the coming episodes.
Yes.
And what? How long did it take us to get through 7?
I don't know.
Like half a year?
Good question. No, 7 was the start of the book, right?
What?
7 wasn't the start of the book?
Which book? I've
You
mentioned too many books.
The books where they went through the chapters, the diary?
Yeah, that's episode 7.
That's all 7, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't take us that long.
Yeah, well...
It didn't take us half a year.
Yeah, I think we paired up a bit. Like, did a few extra chapters, like this one. Instead of doing one a week.
Even still, it wasn't this... We... Maybe like...
4 months?
I would say... I want to say 2 months.
Nah, 3 to 4 months, I think.
I think 3 at most. I don't think it's taken this long.
Well, regardless.
Because we've been consistent
We're getting there.
of actually doing it instead of waiting for me to visit, because that's what I think stalled everything.
Yeah, next one, I don't know how you want to do it. Like, I wanted to do it all at once when you came. Well, I thought you were coming next week, so we got the schedules a bit mixed up. We could split it up because it does have chapters, but it's up to you.
All in one go. What are we going to be recording for, like 72 hours?
It would take like probably 3.5 hours, I'd imagine.
To get through all of 8?
No, the next tea party. The tea party.
Well, we'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. You secretly want that tea party.
What?
You wanted me to be here. We can have the tea party.
What, for episode 8 or this one?
This one. We'll get sandwiches.
No.
Cucumber sandwiches.
We're not having a tea party for this
with
one.
ham and
We can have a
cheese.
tea party for number 8 to celebrate the ending, but not for number 7 tea party.
Can you imagine if we like took the recording gear out?
You just hear a bunch of magpies and stuff.
No, not outside, but like to actual like high tea place, and then just discussed it while having high tea.
I don't know what this high tea is you're talking about.
There's plenty of options.
I don't know what high tea is.
High tea is where they have the plates, and you have like the sandwiches and the scones and the like petit fours.
Yeah, you can set it up. I'll eat and drink all of it, but I don't want to set
Don't
it
you
up.
remember my birthday?
Yeah, I
one
do
year?
remember that, but I don't remember specifically being like that involved in it.
It's tricky because everything's got to be all done at once. That's the struggle I had when I did mine, was because by the time I'd done the sandwiches and then like got the scones ready and everything else, the sandwiches went dry. It was disappointing. So pretty much, yeah, you got to like time everything. There's an art form to it.
Should do it here. Be best.
Pretty much got to just like get everything set up. Sandwiches, cut them, stack them on, and go.
You do it here because this is a big house. It's like, well, we're in the mansion.
Oh my goodness. We have to wait for it to be raining. Wait for like massive storm weather. It's like, alright, let's go. Drop everything.
Well,
get to the mansion.
Whenever they,
to Kumadorian.
whenever the witches had a tea party, I always imagined it being like fine weather, to be honest.
Nice weather.
I guess just tea party makes me think of like a clear day. Everyone's out in like the garden drinking tea like fancy aristocrats or something.
I need your help one day to like properly record the organ pieces.
I don't know how to do organs. So.
I just need the like correct angle. You got like a good angle set up when
That
you
was
do
a
yours.
terrible angle. I literally put my phone on the resting thing for the piano. And it shakes every time I hit the keyboard. Goes out of focus. I had a better... That one that I did on my keyboard was better.
I liked the sound of the actual piano though.
Yeah, it's
Sounded
just... I
nice.
need to figure out how to capture the sound well on my keyboard. Because it sounds really nice in my headphones. But like when I put... All the speakers I've tried so far, it doesn't sound very nice.
You'll figure it out.
Yes.
Well, with that, I guess we leave everyone until
Thanks for watching
the tea
up
party.
until now. I know you guys are looking forward to the next stuff that's coming up, I guess.
Yes, we appreciate the
Episode
comments.
8 will be
and the
fun.
thoughts.
Have you cried at all in the series?
I don't think so.
I know there was some points where I was like tearing up a bit or
Really?
choking up. And luckily they were like when you were the one who was narrating and stuff. Like the bit with Anji and Kasumi? Her aunt.
Auntie.
And like they were going through Maria's...
Oh, and she was ripping out the pages.
And they got to the one where it's like... Why the reason why Maria did her ooh thing. And I was just
Yeah.
like... No.
Oh, that
That's-
did hit hard. That did
Yeah.
like it was like Maria.
And there were a few other parts I think as well.
When will I get my time traveling Maria?
She dead! They found a jaw!
I shouldn't laugh at that. We're like, oh Maria, she's
You're
dead.
gonna laugh at it because she was crazy and killed her mum in
Oh.
her dreams.
Maria.
Got a roll out of it. Alright, until next time, the tea party might come at you all at once or in a few parts. We'll see how it goes. See you later.